since Mass Effect 3 just didn't really work out, but now I finally get the opportunity with Andromeda, and as you can see with these builds, people aren't turning them out as quickly as they would have in Mass Effect 3. That's because of, the ranking system now, to where once we get them to level 20, we still have to get them to rank 10 before, they're at their full potential. But I thought for my first video, I would pick probably my best character. When I first unlocked the Salarian Infiltrator, I really had no idea what to do with him. And after some tweaking, reading up on the internet, I kind of developed my own build. And even before the 1.6 patch, he was really one of my own, one of two characters I could viably play gold with. Even back whenever with the double ammo glitch, I didn't need that with him. In fact, the way I had him set up, it actually really didn't add a whole lot to him. So we're going to take a look at the build. As you can see, I skipped energy drain. I didn't really want to. Initially, I actually had energy drain spec'd out to, I spec'd it out to at least 5, I think it was. And my original build was that I would do the the auxiliary drain, and that I would energy drain as much people as possible and set it up with tech sabotage to debuff them. And that was a build I saw someone post on YouTube, and then I kind of tweaked it into my own thing. And I kind of realized you really didn't need energy drain all the way up. That, it's just fine at level 1 on this character. Other characters you will take it to rank 5 for the priming, but for this one, the synergy with the other abilities is just really too good. First we'll start with the stickies. Just going in order. We're going to rank 6 on this one. We're going to take the damage, grenade capacity, anti-armor. You could take radius, but I think radius is probably better on the frag grenades because they take a little bit more skill to hit your target. But with stickies, I'm going to be spamming them a lot when I'm cloaked and usually on bosses. So radius won't be an issue because I'll just stack them on top of them. Grenade capacity, shrapnel's okay. I really like the DOT in Mass Effect 3 on the frag grenades. Don't really care for it here. It's just usually they're gonna die too fast anyway, and if you try to stack it on a boss, a lot of the time when you're firing down a boss, someone's gonna end up blowing it up with the Cobra anyway. I just like the extra grenades. I think having the extra grenades is just overall better. With the anti-armor, I suppose this is down to preference. If you fight mostly outlaws, I'd take anti-armor. If you're doing anything else, anti-shield. I like anti-armor mostly because it'll tear apart berserkers, fiends, hydras, things like that. Especially if you do decide to go with like an energy drain build, you can have the stickies for armor and the energy drain for shields. And you could take a rank 6 here if you wanted to. I'm actually also running disruptor ammo, which you don't have to do, but I'll get into that a little bit later. Now with tactical cloak, I used to be really adamant about not taking higher than rank 4. Until I started running equalizer infiltrators, and then I thought this was just so good. And we're obviously going to take rank 4, the damage bonus. The damage bonus is just too good not to get. I mean, no matter what build you're running, the gun damage, power damage, melee damage, it's got something for every build. The recharge speed might be good, but you're going to see the way we run this build that it's not an issue. Because the idea with this build is to cloak and immediately start firing to get that damage bonus, and then because we're only cloaked for a couple seconds, our recharge speed comes right back. So we're actually not going to keep Cloak on for very long unless we're doing like an objective or a revive or something like that. Here, I'm taking speed for the same reason. I'm not really going for duration because I'm going to be killing Cloak almost as soon as I put it up. So, here we're taking Combat Cloak, and this is what makes the build work. Because for 2 seconds after you come out of, well, that's not, I should say, normally you would uncloak immediately when you shoot. When you do this, you stay cloaked for a couple seconds afterwards, and during this time, you still get this damage bonus. And that's what's going to make this build awesome, and this is why I use pistols for it. And I'll get in, we'll talk about the pistols a little bit once I get to that. Offensive tech. Now, what makes this Salarian different from the other Salarians is he has this right here, technical synergy. Weapon mass reduction is good. That's good on some characters, especially with the weapon weight capacity. But I find you don't really need that on him, and you don't really need the accuracy or stability. But here, using a power briefly increases weapon damage. That's 30% extra weapon damage for 5 seconds after using the power. I don't believe this works with grenades, but with Cloak and Energy Drain, and that's awesome because, well, I'll get into that in a second. But here we're going to go to Power Enhancement, because he's not going to be doing a whole lot of combos. The only way you can really get combos on him is if you're using an ammo to prime, which I will be doing. But honestly, the power enhancement's just better because the power effect to all durations will count for your energy drain. And for your cloak, like I said, we're not going to be using the cloak a whole lot, but it will give us that extra little duration for objectives and whatnot. But the power damage, that will also apply to your stickies. And that's going to make your stickies do so much damage. Also here, I went ahead and took anti-armor as well. Instead of anti-shields, that's kind of just whatever personal preference. But I like anti-armor because we're really not going to be using energy drain except to kind of get ourselves out of sticky situations and get some health back and trigger our own ammo primes. But if we have the stickies, which are doing 1650 damage, they normally do 11 right there, but we second with this anti-armor, that's 65, and then we take this. We're doing 105% bonus damage to armor with our stickies. And that's huge. It's going to be so awesome. And so both of these really just work towards stickies. That one cloak a little bit. Even though technical synergy doesn't, that'll come into play. As far as support system, I take tech duration just because I'm never going to throw a punch with this guy. And once again, that'll help the energy drain and cloak. So even though we're not taking duration, if we ever need that duration, we have it. This is also good if you do go the energy drain build, which I might show at some point. But here, tactical evasion or tactical revive. I don't ever really use tactical revive on this character because if I revive, I'm cloaked, so it doesn't really matter. As well as it's hard to pass up the movement speed, health, and shields, especially because he's a Salarian and he's squishy. Now here, I remember taking shield reset to try it out to see how it works, and then I never changed the build. This was forever ago. You can do tech sabotage, but that only works for energy drain out of your 3 abilities. So, I mean, you can use it on the boss to debuff them. That's good. It's whatever. And in fact, if I do respec him, I might take this. That way I could cloak and debuff bosses and stuff like that. But I just never wanted to respend a power reset just to change that. But shield reset, this will only, this works with energy drain, and it helps it because using once every 10 seconds using a tech power causes shields to recharge immediately rather than after the standard delay. Now, so even though energy drain is only at 1, and it's only going to give me 35% shield restored, by using that I'll get that 35, and then and then my shields will automatically start to come back. So this really makes energy drain way more useful. It makes it pretty awesome for just being level 1. And if you were running a different build with him, let's just say you were running a different weapon, you're not going to use pistols or anything, you could actually take Escape Artist to where the cloak no longer prevents health and shield regeneration. Because even with shield reset, if we cloak, you don't get regen during cloak, even though it is a tech power. But if you set it up here, those two will work out really well together. So there's different ways you could build him, but I think Combat Cloak and Technical Synergy are what make this build. Because if I hit an Energy Drain, when I hit an Energy Drain, I'm going to get 35% shields back. I'm going to get shields to immediately start recharging. I'm going to get 30% weapon damage. And then I cloak right out. I don't know if it stacks. I don't think it stacks to where if I use cloak and then energy drain, I'll get 60%. I doubt that. But with this, I can stack this with this damage bonus. So I can stack that 30% gun damage after a power with this 40% during cloak. Meaning my pistol is going to be hitting for 70% extra damage. And that, it makes it so good. Like, it ends up being just like a weapons build, believe it or not. And you'll see that once we get into the gameplay, that the whole thing is you're going to constantly be cloaking to get that buff. It's really going to be like, you'll throw an energy drain out, you'll cloak, sticky, then you'll just start firing. And the good thing about this as well is you don't have to take an ammo with you. I'm doing it for the sake of this video to kind of show you how good he can be. But we got the disruptor ammo on, right? If we cloak, and we're going to be using the equalizer, and you start shooting, you can get them primed by the time you come uncloaked. So if you can hit an energy drain on them, you can prime, detonate with energy drain, all before you come uncloaked. So that detonation and that energy drain will both benefit from this damage bonus. And if we're going to get into the guns, definitely you want a weapon with good fire rate, because you want to get as many shots in before you come uncloaked. I like the equalizer. The Hurricane's good, but I only have it at level 2. And the level 2 versus a level 10 equalizer right now, the only thing I'm missing out on is rate of fire. But and the Hurricane's also a lot harder to get, so the equalizer is just a good weapon overall, because it primes pretty fast. And we're using I only have this up to 8 right now, but we're using the clip size and the pistol damage. And I just like the clip size. That means just more shots before the thing overheats, and that's perfect for this build. Because a lot of time, if you cloak to get out of, like, just to cloak and wait for the cloak before you can shoot again, it gives it enough time to kind of recharge and let you start unloading again. As far as the secondary weapon, he doesn't have, I think it might actually be a shield, but this character doesn't actually have a whole lot of weapon carry weight. You can take the, because the equalizer is somewhat of a short-ranged weapon, but taking a sniper or anything on it would weigh him down too much. So you can take the Ghost for long-range shots. It isn't as accurate though. I like the Falcon, and I use the Falcon when I'm doing like a hack objective or something like that where I can't, the equalizer just won't hit those targets. Most time I won't even switch to the Falcon, so don't really worry about a secondary weapon. It's not that important. We're taking incinerary ammo. I thought we were taking disruptor, but you just need number 1. There's no reason to waste your high level ones. I think I only have a level 1 combat power amp. But with him, you definitely want a combat power amp, and you definitely want or you can take a capacity mod. And so, some people stray away from the capacity mods. They say if you have more than 4, then there's no purpose to it because you can only pick up 4 at a box. But you also have to remember when you use an ammo pack how many of those you're getting back. And if a map has 5 ammo boxes, that's 20 grenades you can pick up. And that's what I do with him a lot. I'm really mobile. I cloak, I hit boxes, it's all good. But I just want to use the combat power amp. I just like the extra damage on the stickies, which is also why we're taking enhanced munitions. I mean, some of these are still good. You can take the increased shields. You can take the revive pack transmitter, just in case you die trying to revive someone. I haven't used this yet. With this character, you won't die a lot anyway. I play super aggressive with him. Like, I play more aggressive with him than, except for like a Vanguard, and I don't usually die. You can take different things. You can take pistol damage, that always helps. Same thing with consumables. If you want to take, a pistol rail amp, I'm not taking it because I only have a 1 that's only 10%, and I want to show you how good this is without extra, without beefing up the pistol. I want to show you how good it can be on its own. Now, granted, I think we are taking the barrel here, which is 21%, so there's always that. But yeah, that's the only thing I'm using it above to add extra damage onto that. And with that, I think we'll get into the gameplay. And like I said, there are different ways to build him. I might show off the energy drain build. But this build, without a doubt, is my favorite build. Back before the patch when gold was still stupid extremely hard. It still is difficult now, but before the power buffs, this was like... It was him and my human male soldier that, like... And maybe my melee Vanguard were the only ones that could do gold viably without getting wrecked. And so he was the one I just grinded and grinded. He's only uncommon, so it shouldn't be too hard to get his ranks all the way up. But if you don't have his ranks all the way up, best way I would suggest to start building him is you definitely want to prioritize cloak and offensive tech. So these are the first two you want to get. You want to get cloak up. You want to get this up first as your first priority, and then you want to get technical synergy as the very next thing you do. Even if you don't have any stickies or, you know, any of the shields or anything, you can cloak, you have energy drain, you should still be able to not die as much. So those should be your bread and butter if you're just starting off. Now, if you don't have them to rank 20, you should be able to at least get 3 of these up. And I would say, if you can only pick 3 of these because you don't have the level 10, definitely start stickies. I would get stickies to at least maybe 3 or 4. Maybe 3. And, well, if you get him to rank 2, that's 5 extra points. You could use that rank to pick up grenade capacity and damage. So even just getting him to rank 2, you should be able to get those in stickies. And then you can start working on support system. So I would do tactical cloak, offensive tech, 3 points into stickies, and then start working on the support systems. And then once you get him leveled up and you start getting the ranks, you can start dropping him into stickies. I mean, they are the most powerful thing, but they are really not what the build is centered around. So that's how I would go about that. Alright guys, and with that, we're going to go ahead and get into the gameplay. And that'll probably be a separate video, we'll see. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I really hope you guys like this video. I really hope you like this build. And leave a comment, tell me if you liked it, tell me if you hated it, if you thought it was trash, whatever. Alright guys, appreciate it. I'm going to be coming out with a few more of these. I think my next one will probably be my human infiltrator. Or if you guys want to see something sooner, I've got no followers. So your request will probably be pushed right to the top, so you might as well do it. So, yep, send the request in and I'll get them out for you guys, alright? Hope you guys enjoy the gameplay.